Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to Tokyo Necro. It has been actually a week since I last recorded, so I have to do a refresher about what the hell happened in Tokyo Necro. I do know that we're actually in a new route and we are, at the point where everything is starting to split already. I was really hyped when I was playing Tokyo Necro like a week ago, but I kinda, damn it. My mentality is very bad. Like, when I found out that I have flare-ups with my, like rash, I kinda made an excuse to not record a video. I do apologize for that. It's literally just my mentality being super bad, really. Like, don't get me wrong, the flare-ups are pretty bad. Like, the rash actually went up to my neck. That's how bad it was. But the thing is, the flare-ups would last about an hour at most, and then after that, I could actually do activities again. But, me, the lazy bastard that I am, keep making excuses to not do anything and just laze around. But yeah, hopefully after a week, I'm gonna bring myself back and not be as lazy. Man, I really need to get out of this mentality. I don't know when exactly I started becoming this way. I know for a fact that when I was still in high school, I didn't used to be this way. But then again, I wasn't really the studious type. Or maybe then again, maybe this is my actual personality, But yeah, I do apologize. You guys on YouTube, you guys are not missing anything because this is a weekly upload. I'm apologizing mostly for people on Patreon who, are paying because they want faster uploads. But yeah, let me try to get a refresher what the hell is going on last week, since I last played this. Okay, Olga is Rorschach. Rorschach? How do you say that? I think that's Rorschach, right? I know that there's an ink blot test made from this guy's name, because I do study psychology back in the day, even though I never actually graduated. And what the hell did happen last time? I think Mitsumi got killed because Hokuyasu wanted her dead. I know that happened. And then Soon was crying after that, right? Tokitaka is dead. Kansu surprisingly doesn't get much screen time here. So we haven't really seen much of her right now. Iria, I think she's living with Soon in like some sort of... No. It was probably in the police headquarters, right? He said that it was modeled after like some sort of hospital or something. And then she was using the VR thing to make it look like the place in the fortress. Man, surprisingly, I'm actually still very... my memory about this game is still pretty good. Even though it's been a week since I last played this. But okay, I think Rorschach here, that name is very hard for me to say, so I'll just keep calling her Olga. Olga wanted, let's see, Etika to join up and kill Hokuyasu, I believe. And yeah, we're with her right now. So, let's actually see what's gonna happen. What did she say? Okay. Gripping the steering wheel of the Quellicant, I drive down the midnight streets of Tokyo as Rorschach. Damn it! They're gonna keep calling her Rorschach, aren't they? Talks to me from the passenger seat. Man, it's been a while since I've had such a shitty time driving. Anytime I see Rorschach, maybe I will call her Olga again. Why did I even agree to this? If what Kuroshima Michiya said is true, and the personality of Asu Yukari, Kiri's mom, really is inside Sorya Yuka, then what am I supposed to do? What should I ask her? I'm still not sure. Sorya Yuka's dead, right? I guess Etika wouldn't know because they didn't see what the hell happened in the fortress. But I have a really bad feeling about it. My friend actually already finished this game, by the way. He was like chatting me up on Discord, asking me if I had finished already. He was like, Yo, you know, when you finish a visual novel and you're hyped up, right? You want to discuss it with your friend, but sadly, I was one of those people that haven't finished yet, so he can only, like, lower down his excitement. He was so excited too, and he wanted to talk to me about it.
これは私からの信頼の証。借りができたからって無理に返してもらう必要はないの。なんだよそのプレッシャー。あら、そういうの気にしちゃうタイプかしら。うるせえっての。そこ右よ。わかってる。
Son of a bitch. It really has been a while since I've had such a shitty time driving. I turn the wheel and make for the hyper ghetto. It's not exactly the most welcoming area of the city to visit, even during the day. That's doubly true after nightfall. Man, it's been a while since I heard this microphone, by the way. And I gotta say, in my headphones anyway, this microphone sounds a lot better. I don't know if the compression is gonna make it sound a lot clearer for you guys on YouTube, but in my headphones, these are amazing. I make extra sure that the perimeter is clear before stopping the car in front of the Snowbound Nirvana. The reason I bought this microphone is because at some point I do want to try to, you know, do that audiobook about light novels and stuff, which is why I got this microphone. After passing through multiple security checks, we step into the interior of the store. But you know, considering my procrastination, I feel like I shouldn't do too many projects at once. The inside of the store is like a sauna, even more so than usual. It feels like every single computer in here is running at full force. Sitting in the middle of the room is its humble owner, furiously clacking away at her mechanical keyboard while drooling onto her knees. I'm surprised that the future is still using mechanical keyboards. You think they'd be using those, you know, like, those VR keyboards, right? But I guess you don't really feel tactile feedback with them. If you guys are hearing me talking a lot more than usual, by the way, it's because the caffeine that I've been drinking for my session at the gym is still affecting me, so I'm a bit more hyper than usual. So she knows about her, huh? Well, she knows about the people who she... what is it? She bought, or, you know, the purple she hired to get Iria out of the fortress, so I suppose she would know about Olga. Sue seems to have known her real name. Guess the two are already acquainted. I ended up raising my voice higher than usual as a way to hide how nervous I am. My gaze settles on the nearby workbench.
もしかしてこれが？そう。彼女がソリアユカ。
Oh, so she's... Well, I guess androids technically cannot die as long as you preserve their memory module or whatever they use in this game. It's a mismatch of computer parts with a micro miniature holographic cube hooked up to an integrated circuit. It's got a whole bunch of cords connected to it, and while I know Sue loves this kind of stuff, to me, it just looks like a little pile of junk, and that's putting it mildly. The holographic cube in the middle emits only a faint light.
ソリアユカはイリアと共にザ・フォートレスで生活していた。軍警察によるザ・フォートレスの差し押さえの際、木場野原鉾安の手によって破壊されたわ。潜り込んで回収するの大変だったんだから。
If what she says is true, that means this heap of junk in front of us is one of the most important pieces of machinery in human history. Actually, that last part doesn't really matter at this point.
スーちゃん、あのテープってどうした？一応取ってあるけど。見返す必要はありません。
Oh, so she's already talking again. The synthetic voice that speaks up is tainted by static, but there's a palpable kindness to its tone. It genuinely catches me by surprise. The waves on the CRT monitor change in accordance to every word. They must be the color of her soul. I find myself gripped by a peculiar emotion.
あなたがソリアユカさん？
そうです。あなたは木場野原エチカさんですね。
知ってるの？
ええ。あなたが生まれた時からよく知っています。
Wait, did I just hear that correctly? I can feel my heart rate escalate. God, this isn't like me. Why am I feeling so restless? My attention is involuntarily drawn to the rainbow-hued lights on the monitor. However, their fluctuations are growing weaker and weaker, almost like they could go out at any second now.
風船の灯火。一度意識が途切れたら終わる。呼びかけて。あ、そう、ゆかりさん。私が生まれた時のことを話して。
Wait, so she's still gonna die? We can't restore her to her, you know, like full body again? I end up surprising even myself. Why am I so desperate to learn the truth?
その名前で呼ばれたのは久しぶりですね。わかりました。私が今ここに存在するのはもしかしてそれを伝えるためかもしれない。記憶ははるか遠くたどたどしい語りになるかもしれませんが、なるべく手早く伝えましょう。
I used to think this kind of stuff was better left buried in the past. Hell, I'm probably about to learn something potentially life-changing. I can feel it in my bones. But I've already come this far. There's no way in hell I'm turning back now.
私と鉾安さんが出会ったのは東京大学の研究室です。当時鉾安さんは第三次米中戦争で日本と東南アジアの行き来を繰り返していました。突然戦場に現れたネクロマンシーの技術を解明し、対抗手段を確立するには東京大学の知見がどうしても必要でした。私は当時レムレースガスの研究を行っていました。
Lemur's gas, huh? The mini plant attached to the back of the Sagittarius that attacked the Tokyo Megafloat was filled with the thing too.
大量の死体を一気にリビングデッドへと変化させられる化学兵器が実用化されれば、戦況は一気に好転します。
Oh, okay. I remember what the hell this route emitted. Because we stopped, I'm trying to remember her name, Kiriri, from watching the video till the end. We actually don't know how Azaikyousuke died, I believe. Right? But yeah, she died after using the... Wait, no. I think we do know. Huh. We do know that she's dead and she's inside of Sorya-yuka, right? I actually don't know because at that point, the part in that scene was skipped very far. So I actually don't know what was omitted.
そこで視察にやってきた鉾安さんと私は初めて顔を合わせたのです。私は恋に落ちました。
I doubt my own ears. Having sensed my shock, she promptly continues.
当時の鉾安さんは今の彼とは違ってとても優しい人でした。私は鉾安さんに積極的に話しかけました。彼が東京へと戻るたび、研究者という立場を利用して、よく一緒に歩くのは不忍池でした。激務の間でしたから、私はせめて鉾安さんの疲れが休まるように心がけました。私の鉾安さんへの思いは伝わっていたことでしょう。でも鉾安さんの気持ちが私に向くことはなかった。鉾安さんには愛した人がいたのです。
Seriously? The old man was in love? Is he even capable of that? Well, maybe he was. a long time ago, before those feelings died out from him for good.
小安さんは叶わぬ恋と諦めていたようでした。小安さんが愛した人がいたから。
Man, this one feels like such a love triangle and some shit.
三角関係。彼も私も境遇は似ていたのかもしれません。でも小安さんが愛した人は知りました。
The speaker I've been hearing her voice through begins to pop and crackle. The wave signal in the display starts to weaken, threatening to go out at any second. I know I'm gonna regret hearing her out, but still.
ゆかりさん、お願い。
私は嬉しかった。小安さんの子供を身に宿すことができたのだから。
So yes, the child is hers, so that's Kiriri, right? But who the hell is Etika's mom then? I end up only hearing the last part. There's no turning back now.
ゆかりさん、もしかしてあなたが産んだのって。
木場野原エチカさん。
Wait, what the hell? If you're the child, who the hell is Kiriri's mom?
あなたです。
And with that, her voice is unceremoniously cut off. I mean, there were only two, like, conclusions, right? Or, not conclusions, but like, there's only two ways it was gonna be. Either Etika was her daughter, or it was Kiriri. I was leaning more towards Kiriri, but... Huh. I guess they want to twist this in some way. Who the hell is Kiriri's mom then? When I finally regain my senses, I'm sitting down on a sofa with a blanket covering me. I'm also trembling all over.
はい。
Sue hands me a cup of Chinese tea. Its gentle, subdued aroma helps calm my nerves. As the ripples running along the surface of the tea gradually settle down, I direct my gaze at the heap of junk still laid out on the workbench. Until just a short while ago, that thing was Sorya Yuka, or rather, Aso Yukari, the person who gave birth to me. My mom. I almost can't believe it. This all feels like a bad dream. Really makes me wonder when I'll suddenly wake up. I'm thinking, Michiya. Did Michiya impregnate like Aso Yukari too, and that became Kiriri? That's a possibility. I mean, when Sorya Yuka was being called mom by Kiriri, she didn't actually object to it in the other route. So that's what I assume. So they're probably... We'll see. I'm not too sure. Michiya did say he only got his way with Sorya Yuka and not actually, Aso Yukari when she was still alive. God, why did I have to go and listen to her story? It's like I've just opened Pandora's box. Tokyo's power structure has undergone some radical changes within a short period of time. Needless to say, that came with a considerable amount of additional work for the military police. Kiriri, too, has been swamped with duties. In fact, this is our first time going home in a week. The military police HQ is as busy as ever. However, there seems to be a growing exhaustion among officers, which is probably why the entire floor feels less and less lively as the days go by. It's an unfortunate state of affairs, but Kiriri knows she's part of the problem too. Mentally reprimanding herself, she makes her way down the escalator. Aso Kiriri respects Kibanohara Hokuyasu a great deal. The Empire Energy Corp does not concern itself with Tokyo. Having set their sights on the outside world, they would readily sacrifice the city in order to complete their Tokyo Rebirth project. It is essentially their ultimate objective. which is why the military police, according to Okuyasu's point of view, must sidestep the toothless Tokyo administration and take matters into their own hands in order to reclaim the city's sovereignty. Pragmatically speaking, it's the correct path to take. Okuyasu has so far carried out his plans with a fearsome level of calculated efficiency. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, as the saying goes. He kept a close eye on Milgram to learn his objectives, intentionally allowing him to weave his schemes. The military police's occupation of the fortress was carefully timed to coincide with the attack on the Empire Energy Corp. Okuyasu made use of the political scandals that Amachi Juichiro had kept to himself as bargaining chips, and exerted his influence over the government too. Once the military police gains control of the central geothermal power plant, the entire city will practically be at their beck and call. Which is precisely why Sophia Kawarazaki is a key player in all this. I'm thinking though, they kept saying that a ghoul or a living dead will not be able to... Like, we're not gonna be able to do anything that they themselves don't want to do because of their heart or whatever, right? But couldn't we just wait it out? Couldn't we just wait out until their emotions are gone? And after that, you know, they're probably mindless again, right? Or maybe after they're mindless, they can't actually talk anymore. So their logic is also gone. Because what we want from Sophia Kawarazaki is her password for the geothermal plant, if I believe, right? I was wondering why we needed to torture her and still make her human, but I guess that's why. Hearing her name spoken out loud so abruptly startled Kiriri. Kiriri heaves an exhausted sigh, but her expression soon loosens up. She then takes Kazuma's hand.
ありがとう、カズマ。やだ、その呼び方。まだ仕事場。私を元気づけてくれるんでしょ？わかったから手を離してって。見られてる。晩ご飯何にしよっか。お酒。そこは躊躇しないんだ。浅草にいい酒蔵があるの。そこの氷桜って日本酒がね、今時本物のお米を使って。
Azaikyousuke produced by a shop in Asakusa, brewed using real rice. The brewing process is considered an intangible cultural property, beloved by Nagisa Kazuma. Azaikyousuke? What the hell is that?
はいはい。それじゃあそこで。
Still holding onto Kazuma's hand, Kiriri hails for a taxi. When it arrives, they both get in.
ねえ、キリリ。なに、カズマ。いつも通りカズマちゃんでいいよ。誰も見てないんだし。ああ、うん。
So, are they like together or something now? Now that Ethika is out of the picture?
あとって。え？あ。
Flustered, Kiriri finally lets go of Kazuma's hand. After all, they no longer have to keep pretending.
ごめんなさい。別にいいけどさ。そういうのは本当に好きな人にしてあげなよ。やだな。好きな人なんて。
No one like that. She couldn't finish her sentence. If she had, Kiriri fears it might have become the truth. As they say, what you say is a prayer. The self-driving public taxi takes them not to Asakusa, but to Ikebukuro CPC. The howl of a slumdog can be heard in the distance. I guess Kazuma was trying to not get recorded in camera or something? Weird. They're capable of using their synthetic voices to convey information to other nearby units, even in areas hit by electronic jamming. This is a crime-ridden area run by the Malacca gang. Most people know better than to come here. However, showing off such an overt sign of the military police's presence means even the gang will think twice before interfering. That makes the place ideal for having a private conversation. Kiriri finally hands Kazuma the bag she's been carrying.
これありがとう。見つかったって。エレベーターまでもう少しってところで。
Inside the bag is the camouflage material that Kazuma prepared for her.
残念だったね。うん。まだやる気？もういい加減にしたら。
Kiriri shakes her head in response to Kazuma's warning.
ありがとう。カズマちゃんはもういいよ。ここから先は私一人でやる。もうそういうこと言ってるんじゃないってば。
Kazuma scratches the back of her head, looking visibly agitated.
ねえキリリ、あんたどうしてそこまでするわけ？いくら養子で木場野原少将のお気に入りだからってさ、さすがにそろそろ危ないよ。
I'm guessing she's, trying to see what the hell happened with Sophia.
あんたがそこまでリスクを負う必要ないじゃない。それとも正義の味方になりたいの？そんな風に見えてた？時々ね。
Kiriri knows Kazuma wouldn't lie to her. The two have known each other since their days at the Higashi Nakano Military Police Academy. They've always been able to confide in each other without reservations. Kiriri reaches into her pocket and produces a small bottle of flavor capsules. She takes a good hard look at it before speaking up.
私、お母さんに言われたんだ。木場野原少将を支えてあげてって。支える？木場野原少将ってそういうのが必要そうには見えないけど。自分の感情をかき消してあらゆるものを犠牲にして自分の理想を追求する。すべては正しい東京のために。そういうの本当にできるのかな？
I mean, some people can do it.
木場野原少将を疑ってるの？わかんない。でも木場野原少将にはいい人でいてほしいと思う。
Think it's a bit too late for you to want him to be a good person after what he did.
私のお父さんみたいな人だから。それじゃあエチカは？え？妹？それとも。
Kiriri offers no answer. She falls completely silent. Perhaps this is her way of evading the question.
キリリ、この際言わせてもらうけど、いい加減エチカとちゃんと向き合ったら？私は真面目だよ。真面目に考えてるからこうやって。そこは不真面目でいいでしょ。
Kazuma's tone is uncharacteristically flippant.
普段不真面目なエチカが真面目なんだから、キリリは逆でいい。でも
Kiriri isn't backing down. It's almost like she's trying to come up with an excuse.
彼女は嫌がってる。彼女が本当は何してほしいか知ってるくせに。お姉ちゃんでしょ。
Kazuma has her figured out. She knows exactly what it is that Kiriri wants to avoid talking about at all costs. After dropping off Kazuma, Kiriri makes for her home in Ueno. Being up to her neck in tasks, she would usually continue working even in the taxi. But for some reason, today is different. She has her con reopened on some documents that still need to be looked over, but her gaze is glued to the moving neon scenery beyond the window. She remembers getting on a gunship as the Tokyo megafloat continued to sink, as well as the longing, desperate look her childhood friend gave her. She's always felt Etika's affection toward her, But at the same time, Kiriri knew she tried her best not to make things too overt. If they crossed that line without being genuinely earnest about it would only make them both unhappy. So she kept telling herself that things were fine the way they were. That they should continue keeping up appearances, because that would keep them both happy. But is that really true? The buzz of her Conry jolts Kiriri back to her senses. She hastily brings up the message, thinking it's some urgent business from a coworker. But upon noticing the name displayed, she immediately freezes up. Azaikyousuke, the name of her mother. I'm thinking, if Azaikyousuke is the mom... No, there's no way Kiriri is also an android, right? They would have told us already at this point if they did. A lot has happened today. And besides, Etika wouldn't... Sorry about that, Son. Etika wouldn't misremember the fact that they were childhood friends about that.
起きていたんだね。もう眠っている時間かと思った。僕はこのまま眠ることにする。君はどうする？
Iria doesn't seem to be asleep, but she doesn't answer me either. Not even with a yes or no. She doesn't seem to mind me, so I suppose I'll take the same course of action I always do. I start changing in silence. Before I can fully undress though, I feel her pinch the back of my shirt.
さっき友達から連絡があったの。
Azaikyousuke?
友達？
I wasn't aware she had anyone like that in her life.
どういう人だったんだ？
優しい人。私にいろんなことを教えてくれた人。でも
I can hear Iria's voice trembling.
死んじゃうってそう言って本当に死んじゃったの。
そうか。
Everyone dies eventually. Some end up becoming undead like I have, but the process of death itself is inevitable. It's why people leave offspring as a way to pass on their genes. The endless cycle of life and death is a necessary part of mankind's enduring prosperity.
イリア、手を離してくれないと着替えられないよ。
I mean, I somewhat agree with you, Son, but doesn't mean we can't pursue our own happiness, man. She's been silently staring at my exposed arm. Traces of the wound that got sewed up at the hospital are still faintly visible on it. I was already running late, but the procedure ended up delaying my return to Iria even further.
そうこれ
ああ、三海を殺そうとして失敗したんだ。マスターに命じられたんだけど、うまくできなかった。最近、少しXブレインへの反応が鈍ってるみたいなんだ。イリア。
Oh, sorry about that, Iria. Iria is hugging me from behind. Her arms are trembling. I can still tell, just barely, that this is supposed to convey some kind of a message.
ごめん、イリア。僕はまた君を悲しませてしまったのかな。
I gently touch her cheeks. They're moist with tears.
喜びの証なのか、悲しみの証なのか、もう僕にはわからないんだ。
The best thing I can do for her is to say what I think out loud.
ねえ、イリア。君は今、幸せかい？
She nods.
幸せだよ。
Man, this is pretty sad. Someone is probably just gonna take that at face value, yeah. That's good to hear. Iria's happiness is the only thing that matters to me anymore. Ah, you're so fucked, Son. I saw that, CG.
エチカちゃん。
The curtains swing open and light spills into the room. I groggily sit up in bed while rubbing the drowsiness out of my eyes.
もう朝。ほら、早くしないと遅刻するよ。
This has gotta be a flashback.
はーい。
After hastily dressing myself, I make for the living room. The moment I start walking down the stairs, my empty stomach growls in anticipation of the morning feast that lines in the dining table.
おはよう。おはよう。
No, this is just a fucking dream, man. I greet Mom while she busies herself in the kitchen. The person silently reading the morning paper at the table is Dad. Even the sourpuss I see. Ever. Who knows what's even going on in that skull of his? Well, it's not like I care, and I have no time for idle chit-chat. I gotta hurry or I'll be late.
いただきます。
I start wolfing down breakfast. There's rice, miso soup, a piece of grilled fish, hijiki. What's hijiki? I'm guessing that's the thing on the right there that looks like some pickled vegetables and some nuts and carrots. And some seaweed to go with it. No, that must be the seaweed. Or maybe the left side there is hijiki. As traditionally Japanese as it gets. And it's about as bursting with flavor as you'd expect.
ほら。
Kiri tries to pick off a grain of rice stuck to my face. As her hand brushes against my lips, I open my mouth and move closer to her finger.
ダメだよ、エチカちゃん。私たちは家族でしょ。ごめん、キリね。
Unable to endure the dream any longer, I open my eyes.
こういう夢はやっぱり辛いんだ。
First, it was yesterday's hallucination. Now this. Right, I remember the hallucination. Sorry about that. I was trying to mute the mic while moving the arm of my mic, but then I didn't finish the hallucination thing. But yeah, I think she saw Kiriri saying I love you to Etika. That was pretty depressing too, yeah. I really need to stop sleeping here. But for some reason, I always end up coming back. I noticed that it's gotten dark. Damn, my day and night have completely switched places. I'd love to just continue sleeping, but if it means having another dream like that, then yeah, no thanks. I gotta be up and about. But what can I even do at this point? I know I'm not cut out for office work. So what then? Become hired muscle for the mafia? Or get involved with the underground martial arts scene? Hell, I could become someone's lover too. And by someone, I mean a hot rich lady. You could technically be a... Is it gigolo or gigolo? I think it's gigolo, right? Nah, screw all that. Boy, now I feel like shit too. Great. Anyway, here's hoping some coffee will help. I open our can of early bird, but put the beans and the filter in. Oh wow. We're almost out. As I drip the coffee and allow its sweet, familiar aroma to caress my nostrils, I start to think. I don't really find this coffee particularly tasty. Actually, let's be honest, it tastes like shit. Let's see. Yeah, definitely tastes like shit. But not having this flavor to go with my mornings would kind of bum me out. In fact, I'd really miss it. I wonder where Ryoko bought it. I never asked her. I tried looking up a receipt, but end up finding nothing that would get me closer to the answer. You know, I'm thinking, the reason why Hokuyasu actually shed that tear on the last route actually made a lot more sense. Because in that last route, Etika died, right? And He was thinking about why the hell Etika was also revived by him with necromancy. And I guess after seeing Sorya Yuka, he felt something again. Yeah, I guess it makes a lot more sense if you think about it. Then again, this feels like the kind of stuff you'd buy with cash, not with digital currency. Guess I'll go hit up Amehoko. To live means to constantly change. We buy things we don't have, taste food we've never eaten before, listen to music we were unfamiliar with, and learn things we didn't know before. I tried to eat foods that I didn't eat before. Like, I actually bought so much fish that, you know, to expand my repertoire of foods, but I'm thinking that was actually the cause of my rash, so I ended up having to stop eating it. Before, I was eating mostly just tuna and salmon, but I bought like tilapia and then dory. And I think, yeah, those actually fucked me up. I know for a fact that I have an allergic reaction to crustaceans because I have hives before. But it didn't really last long, it was mostly like one day. This though, this rash fucking hurts. The people who come to Amehoko are driven by fundamental human desires such as wanting to eat or buy things, which is why the place is always bustling with life. Actually, let me rephrase that. Right now, Amehoko is livelier than it's ever been. Wherever you look, there's faces beaming with content smiles. It's pretty obvious to see why. Subcon's latest music video, accompanied by the melodious echo of her synthetic voice, sings of a bright future. There's no need to fear the suicide wannabes anymore. The Ice Age may have devastated the planet, but here in Tokyo, the warmth of life is maintained by a network of hot pipes. The city is safe under the watchful eye of the military police. Things are only going to get even better from here on out. That's the general impression you get from the smiles on everyone's faces. They're filled with hope. It may be a fragile illusion, a clever deception, but people need to cling on to hope in order to live. What's so wrong about that? Nothing. Nothing at all. The only one who's wrong here is me. All I'm doing is seething with jealousy because my own hopes have been crushed. I wander the streets of Amehoko, having already forgotten why I even came here in the first place. I drift from place to place like a snowflake in the wind. If only I too could melt into the warm updraft and vanish for good. It's about time I owned up to it. I've been acting like a child. I held my own feelings in the highest possible regard. I thought nothing was more important than staying true to myself. But that was just...
こんばんは。
I doubt my own eyes. Is this another hallucination? She's standing right in front of me.
キリね
えちかちゃん、暇？
うん暇だけど
これから一緒にデートしない？だからデート
デート
したくない？
はいしたいです
よろしい。
Kiri just asked me out on a date. I can feel the touch of her hand against mine. It's warm, soft, and most definitely not a hallucination. What did you get from Sorya Yuka, damn it? Our date takes us here, to our usual place.
おいしい。
Kiri's face blossoms into a full smile as she tastes her hollow hollow. She got a strawberry one. Me, I went for matcha. It's what we always pick.
閉店に間に合ってよかったわね。
We made it here just as the Hollow Hollow stand was about to close up shop. Due to the botanical garden's Fox tropical climate, ice cream tastes just right even after nightfall. Or it should at least. I'm not tasting much of anything myself. Must be the result of my rapidly deteriorating undead body. What? You're not undead? Not in this timeline. Well, hold on. I'm not dead just yet.
エチカちゃん、
Man, I guess they really want to... they want to throw you off for a loop there.
何？
最近元気？
Kind of like, you know, foreshadowing that in the other route she's gonna be dead.
キリねえわ。
She doesn't immediately answer. We're both lying to each other. And we're both fully aware of that. But we gotta draw the line somewhere. I'd rather not lie to her if I can help it. I want to say how I truly feel. God, this is a pain.
これからどうするつもり？
わかんない。
しばらくは貯金あるか。
まあね。賞金使うあてもなかったし。プーでもやるさ。
たまには休むのもいいかもね。
そうだね。
Man, this is pretty awkward. I have no idea why people don't just tell what the hell they're feeling, by the way. I guess when a relationship is, you know, too precious for you to care about what happens if it breaks up, you would think that way. But I don't know. I personally think that even if I were to say something hurtful, if the people doesn't accept it, or, you know, if I was in the wrong, we would debate, we would argue, but at the end of the day, I think we would make up, right? If, like, the relationship was that strong in the first place, I feel. If it doesn't work out, I feel like it was a flimsy, like, relationship in the first place. Silence. The worst kind, too. Feeling pressured, I finally speak up.
キリねえわ。相変わらずっていうか、もっと大変でしょ？
まあね。でもそれが仕事だから。
仕事ね。
Jobs. Work. Duties. Oh, god damn it. I'm at my wit's end. I can't take this anymore. I rise from my seat and sit back down next to Kiri.
ごめんね、キリね。本当は何？
本当は？
Kiri tries to dodge the question. I can tell she's startled, but I look her straight in the eye.
あるんでしょ？理由。突然、私に会いに来たんだもん。
エチカちゃん。本当のこと言うよ。
Kiri draws closer, and now it's me who's feeling kinda startled. Her scent washes over my nostrils. The sweet smell of lotus flowers. Our lips are close enough that I can feel her breath against my skin. But to me, it's like we're worlds apart. Part of me knows I should let go, but another part wants to hold her close. It's one hell of an internal struggle, but in the end...
キスしよう。
なんで？
What the hell did Sorya-yuka tell you? This is really weird.
したくない。私とキスしたくない。
I mean, not the fact that this is a Yuri relationship, it's just the fact that she's being very forward and assertive right now.
いや、それは。
違う。そうじゃない。
Kiri shakes her head before correcting herself.
私がエチカちゃんとキスしたいから。エチカちゃんとキスしたいってずっと。
Man, if I was in Etika's shoes, I'm the type that's really like a coward. If something is too good to be true, in my mind, there's gotta be a catch. I probably would have pushed her away at this point. The distance between our lips, which seemed insurmountable just moments earlier, grew shorter and shorter. But why? What's going on? Why is Kiri suddenly...
エチカちゃん
I close my eyes.
ごめん。
Yup. Etika, it's good to know you're somewhat like me. Etika turns her face to the side without opening her eyes. With nowhere else to go, Kiriri's lips remain slightly parted.
ごめん、キリネ。ごめん。
Refusing to even meet Kiriri's gaze, Etika stands up and turns to leave. All Kiriri can do is watch her go. She doesn't chase after her. She can't. Drowned in the scent of lotus flowers, she slumps down near the edge of the pond, listening to Etika's fading footsteps, while gazing up at the cloudy sky stretching beyond the glass ceiling. I think in Etika's case, it's not that Etika and I have the same sort of mentality. It's the fact that she knows that there's something wrong with Kiriri, and that she doesn't want this relationship to happen in this way. I believe that's why Etika actually, didn't kiss her right then and there. At least that's my reasoning for it. Her taxi awaits outside the botanical garden, with Kazuma still inside.
おかえり待たせてごめん私が勝手に待ってただけ
Kazuma hands Kiriri a handkerchief without turning to look at her.
はいえまだ濡れてるよありがとう
Kazuma's thoughtfulness is appreciated. And with that, their taxi takes off in self-drive mode.
よくやったじゃん
Kazuma's well aware of Kiriri's complicated relationship with Etika. She also knows how to treat her at times like this.
傷つく覚悟だってしたんでしょうんこうなるって心の中で予防線も張ってたんでしょうんそれでも漏れ出しちゃう思いは本物だよ伝えたキリリは偉い
The future may look bleak and uncertain. It might hold nothing but failures and rejection. Yet in spite of all that, you stay true to yourself and pursue your desires. Kiriri believes she's finally managed to imitate a way of life she's always envied. The pain that feels like a dagger in her heart is simply the price she's paid for it. She'll continue to keep moving forward through the pain. She must.
これ
The gun Kazuma has just handed to her is a re-eliminator, the symbol of the close quarters armed martial arts training unit.
弾は30発木場野原少将の机から引っ張ってきたやつだから警備には引っかからない
Kiriri's voice lowers to a whisper as she continues staring at the gun in her hand.
カズマちゃん
What is she trying to do? I'm actually pretty confused right now.
ありがとう
Kazuma averts her gaze.
泣き顔やめなさいよバカこれからあんたは生きて帰ってくるんだからね
So what, is she gonna try to save Sophia? I'm so confused right now. At long last, the taxi comes to a halt. Kiriri inhales, bracing herself. She has no regrets. Nor does she fear failure. She's going to see this through to the end. Kiriri looks up at the twin towers looming above her.
行ってくるね
Kazuma watches as Kiriri walks toward the building. The twin towers located near the western gate of Tokyo overlook the city like a pair of ominous giants. The hot pipes encircling the buildings are at a disadvantage against the biting, wintry cold descending from the sky above. Snow often accumulates on the rooftops. The night is cold enough to eat into one's bones. Upon entering HQ, Kiriri makes for the elevators. She wonders if it's her anxiety that's making the building feel this cold. Memories flash through her mind as she approaches her destination. She'll never forget how much she owes him. But even in spite of that, no. That's exactly why she must do the right thing as a member of the military police, an organization that's sworn to protect the city. So are you gonna try to kill Hokuyasu? Steadying her steps, Kiriri continues onward. Having already booked an appointment in advance, she is allowed through by the guard without issue. I'm confused. Why would she do this? She briefly closes her eyes and crosses the point of no return. Her stern, dignified voice rings out in the dark of the office. Attempting to hide her fear, she makes her way into the room with an air of authority. He doesn't even turn to face Kiriri while addressing her. The hologram Kiriri pulls up with her Conry displays a prison cell filled to the brim with the living dead. Most of them are ghouls, pushing and shoving each other in an attempt to break free.
東京攻略のためにミルグラムが用意したリビングデッド。それがなぜ今軍警察の管理下に。マスターを亡くしたグールは理性を失い、見境なしに襲いかかります。なぜ再殺しないのですか。
どこでこれを知った。
今すぐ処理しないのなら。
どうしてお前がこれを知ることができた。
Kiriri can't immediately answer. Merely remembering that abrupt message she received last night in the taxi makes her heart ache. Okay, so I guess she just wants to leave with no regrets. That's why she did what she did to Ethica. She knows that she's gonna, you know, either die or not die after doing this.
正確には母の意識を移植したアンドロイドソリアーユカと名乗っていました。そしてもうすぐに彼女自身の魂も消えることも。
Major General Kibanohara falls silent for a brief moment. An almost imperceptible ripple of emotion runs across his stern features. Kiriri feels like it's a sign of Aso Yukari's importance. The faint glimmer of hope she's been looking for.
母は最後まであなたを心配していました。おこやすさん、お願いです。母を泣かせるようなことはしないでください。
You're in the wrong timeline, Kiriri. The Major General remains silent. He simply closes his eyes. Kiriri has no way of telling what past memories his mind has drifted back to. But by the time he opens his eyes again, his hesitation is no more.
今の東京は支配体制が変わり混乱の最中にある。崩御イリアの類まれなる共感能力を利用し、サブスタンスコンセプトの歌声を流すことでなんとか見かけ上の治安を保っている。だが支配は薄氷だ。一つ間違えれば街で暴動が起こりかねない。だから計画は実行されなければならない。
計画。
Kiriri parrots back the words in a trembling voice.
東京には人が多すぎる。もう都市機能は限界だ。
I mean, that's actually the world right now, to be honest, Okuyasu.
不老者、犯罪者、老人。東京の街を再生させるためには社会的弱者の存在が邪魔なのだ。
See, the thing is, while I do agree with what he's thinking right now, we can't play God, man. But I guess, you know, he doesn't necessarily think of himself as God. He just wants Tokyo to survive. I guess that's his responsibility, quote unquote.
口減らし。それが正しいやり方だと。
It's definitely a way to handle something like this, Kiriri.
ラボラトリーの生き残りにロール・シャッハという女がいる。彼女を首謀者として大量のグールが東京へと襲いかかる。東京に米中戦争を蘇らせるんだ。
許しません。
Kiriri pulls out the re-eliminator she smuggled through security from under her clothes. The gun shakes in her grip, but its muzzle is aimed straight at Major General Kibanohara's back.
あなたは狂っているわ。東京を救うために東京に大量のグールを解き放つなんて許されることじゃない。
I mean, I can't really deny that too.
あなたが戦場で何を見てきたかは知らない。でも
勘違いするな。私が憎んでいるのは戦場ではない。戦場で命を懸けた私たちを軽蔑の眼差しで迎え入れた東京都民だ。元の生活を取り戻しつつあった東京都民にとって勝利も敗北も何の成果もなく終わった米中戦争はただ人々の生活を苦しめた忌まわしき過去だった。人々は日々の苦しみのはけ口を米中戦争の関係者へと向けたのだ。自衛陸軍の機関兵は仲間だったリビングデッドを再殺した非人間的振る舞いを責められ続けた。軍に雇われ花形として活躍したはずのネクロマンサーは意に嫌われ職にありつけず結局は闇社会へ下るしかなかった。近接柔術共同体の隊長だった私が軍警察へと転職後まず行った民間特別静止者追跡者制度の設立はせめてもの抗議だよ。死者を殺し生き延びるネクロマンサーの戦場で守る者のために戦うというその希望がどれだけ命の支えとなるか。感情を殺して生き延びた時守る者に侮蔑の眼差しで迎え入れられ人は正気を保てるか。我々が味わった真空を都民は身をもって思い知らねばならない。
間違ってる。
Okuyasu remains calm in the face of Kiriri's biting condemnation.
お前に私が撃てるのか。
岡安さん、私は母に託されました。だから
Her fingertip grazes the trigger.
殺してでもあなたを止める。
As the words leave her lips, Kiriri pulls the trigger. Okuyasu's coat remains unscathed. As it turns out, the bullet that went for his heart was made of plastic. Kiriri's re-eliminator isn't even loaded with live ammunition. She makes a split-second decision. Turning her back on Okuyasu's icy gaze, she flees the room in a frantic hurry.
手遅れだ。
His words ring almost prophetic. Kiriri runs down the hallway as if to escape his voice. Upon leaving Hokuyasu's office, she is immediately stopped by a guard. Either Kazuma was in on this or she actually didn't know this was... There's no way she doesn't know though. She had to have checked it. She's definitely in on this. Being held at gunpoint, she raises both hands in a show of surrender while inching closer to the guard, only to spring into action a moment later. Kiriri keeps up her long skirt, knocking the guard's rifle out of his hand and causing him to lose his balance. Having successfully disarmed her opponent, she then smacks him in the head with a heel of her palm. Also, Kiriri's status as the decorated major of the military police isn't merely for show. Moreover, she spent years surrounded by CQC experts like Etika and Hokuyasu. She has no trouble disarming opponents that underestimate her abilities simply because she's a woman. Maintaining her composure, Kiriri picks up the guard's rifle and aims it at his legs.
ごめん。
The resulting spray of blood is dusky red in color. Wow, is everyone in the military police an undead now? Wow, Kazuma's gotta be an undead for sure. Kiriri dashes the elevator and starts frantically pressing at the call button. The floor lamps light up at an agonizingly sluggish rate while the wires of the elevator begin moving with a low, metallic groan. Meanwhile, the guard Kiriri has just disarmed shambles toward her from behind. Leaving a trail of dusky red blood on the floor, he shows no signs that he is feeling any sort of pain. The living dead possess no emotions. As such, one need not show any mercy when re-eliminating them. A quick bullet through the brain is all that's required. Yet Kiriri finds herself unable to pull the trigger, and instead hits the guard with the butt of her gun. She then discards the rifle and flees into the freshly opened elevator. So, are you gonna kill her? She throws a quick glance at her connery. She's unable to connect to the mesh network. It's being jammed. Even the internal lines accessible only by military police personnel have been blocked. Surrounded by the low hum of the moving elevator, Kiriri racks her brain, trying to make sense of the situation. All the while, she struggles to fight off the urge to scream. What's a living dead doing here? Did Milgram's underlings infiltrate the building? That can't be. Kibanohara Hokuyasu is entirely too vigilant for that to happen. He intentionally stationed an undead guard in front of his office, which can only mean... As Kiriri steps out onto the hallway to switch elevators, she bumps into a familiar face.
阿蘇少佐、どうしたんですか？顔色が悪いですよ。
God damn it, Son.
長岡さん。
Kiriri's sense of relief is abruptly dispelled by a scream coming from Miria.
逃げて。
Out of pure reflex, Kiriri breaks into a sprint. As she flees, a series of gunshots whiz past her. Without looking back, she makes a mad dash down the emergency staircase. She's too scared to check who fired those shots. I'm so confused, man. Like... Iria probably could have saved Son if she just didn't lie to his face. Well, I guess... Son might not be saved, but he would probably kill himself, right? I don't know if he even has the capacity to kill himself anymore, but... I guess she doesn't want that, but... I don't know, man. Isn't this torturing him even more? Fuck! A cold air hangs heavy in the building. Meanwhile, wafting through the corridors is a very particular smell. The stench of rotting flesh. The entire floor reeks of death and decay. Standing in Kiriri's path are two military police officers. A man and a woman, both clearly undead. Temperatures have been kept intentionally low to help preserve their rotting bodies. In other words, this entire floor is filled with the dead. Whoever used necromancy on them possesses authorization to regulate the building's air conditioning. Kiriri keeps on running, trying desperately not to throw up. Yet no matter which floor she flees to, it's simply no use. The living dead are everywhere. Every single floor of the building has been tainted by necromancy. The twin towers of the military police have become a fortress of the dead. Kiriri makes her way down the aerial corridor and bursts into a sick room with the lights off. She mustn't allow panic to overwhelm her. Her first priority is to secure the safest possible escape route and leave the building. Just as she's about to double-check a floor plan stored locally on her conry, she accidentally touches the hand of a patient lying on one of the beds. It's cold as ice. An ominous chill runs down Kiriri's spine. She has a terrible feeling about this, as she timidly looks around the room. She realizes that she's surrounded only by corpses. Other than Kiriri herself, there's not a single living soul in here. Each body, however, has been carefully preserved to be repurposed later. Who could have the power to arrange all this? What do you mean, who?
ごめんなさい、キリリ。カズマちゃん。
Kiriri freezes in place. Her tattered mind begs for all this to be a terrible misunderstanding. However, there's no way anyone could have made it through this building without being obstructed by the living dead. So how did Kazuma manage to steal Major General Kibanohara's real eliminator? And why were its bullets swapped out with plastic ones?
嘘でしょ。
Wow, she literally danced in the palm of his hand.
私、逆らえないんだ。キリリに仲間がいないことを確認しろって命令されて、それで。
She can take no more. Kiriri sounds a bone-chilling scream, pushes open the door, and flees to another room. She's no longer driven by her sense of justice, nor the need for survival, but simply a desire to reject the cruel reality that's been thrust at her. She finds herself in the ICU, a place for saving lives. Yet right now, the room is filled with enough lemurs to turn the whole Tokyo into a veritable city of the dead. Man, so Milgram wanted everyone dead, including the living dead. But this guy just wants to make everyone into living dead. Well, I guess except for him, right? He's gonna still be controlling them. The shots I fire from my real eliminator fail to hit Major Aso, instead leaving tiny bullet marks in the wall. Are my reactions getting slower? I should rely on my X-Berry next time. Just as I'm about to give chase,
どうした、イリア。
she's grabbed my arm.
行かないで。
どうして。
だって。行ったらそう。
It was Iria who told Major Aso to run a few moments earlier. I don't really understand why.
お願い。そう。私と一緒にいて。
ごめん。
I shake off her arm.
それが僕に下された命令なんだ。
They were given by my master, and as such, cannot be disobeyed. The expression on Iria's face, along with the sigh she heaves, are both utterly beyond my comprehension now. I see Mitsumi there, so she's not dead. Overwhelmed by frustration, I bury my head in the cushion. The events at the botanical garden keep on flashing through my mind, and every single time, they're accompanied by waves of bitter regret. I wish the darkness would just swallow me whole, that I could sink into this pillow and never come back up. I just want to disappear.
やだ。やだよ。キリネート、
会えないなんて。
I might just cry. In fact, I already am. I've always wanted to kiss her. I wanted us to be more than just friends, just family. It was my one chance to make that dream come true. Should I have just kissed her? There's no way I could have done that. I mean, come on. Azaikyousuke is the woman who gave birth to me. Which means that Kiri and I are actual sisters, related by blood.
別にいいじゃん、姉妹だって。
So they are the same. I was wondering, huh? I thought that maybe her mother was actually different.
そもそも女と女なわけだし。だったら全然いいよ、そんなの。
I guess
関係ないじゃん。
I'm actually surprised that she denied her because of this fact. I'd have thought that, you know, just because they share the same blood wouldn't mean shit because, you know, at the end of the day, the reason why incest is banned in the first place, I believe, is because, you know, if you marry your own family, it's gonna have some brain damage to your genetics, right? You know, that's why a lot of royal family back in the day have a few people with their screw loose in the head. But the fact that these two are both girls, like, who cares? I know full well that it does actually make a pretty big difference, and that comes across in my trembling voice. Kiri and I are half sisters who share the same blood. Just thinking about it makes me want to crawl up and die. The raw enthusiasm that my love for her fills me with is immediately extinguished by that awful realization. Kiri's probably unaware that we're related by blood. It's why she wanted us to kiss. She took a step further than either of us had ever before. But if we had crossed that line, there would have been no turning back. I wouldn't have been able to resist her. Knowing that, I turned her down. I couldn't bring myself to accept her feelings. If you love something, say that you do. If there's something you hate, kick it aside and move on. I've always lived my life by those rules, and yet, here I am now. I can hear Substance Concepts' singing fill the room. Yesterday, as I was about to leave the Snowbound Nirvana, Sue showed me a diagram of sorts that resembled the tone graph. It was a comparison of the city's crime rate statistics with the locations of Subcon's musical performances, revealing a clear drop in crime in those areas. According to Sue, the military police is essentially using Hogyo Iria's skills as a VR programmer to control the populace of Tokyo. Apparently, Subcon's singing is capable of calming people's emotions. So, is this all a piece built on lies? Even if it is, what's wrong with a lie if it helps everyone live in harmony? Should we just give in and start dancing to the old man's tune? Maybe so. I throw a glance at Rabbit Punch, leaning against the wall. From what little I can remember, the old man wasn't always an asshole. He used to be strong, kind, and firm in his convictions. People knew Kibanohara Hokuyasu as the hero of the Sino-American War, and I revered him as my idol. Revered, I think, right? So when he came back from the war a changed man, my delusionment on him was fierce, to say the least. Disillusionment. He would sacrifice the small for the big, and repress his own emotions for the greater good. I was violently at odds with that way of thinking. I swore I'd never become an adult like that. I would remain a child forever and be proud of it. But I couldn't fulfill my own desires. Kiri picked the military police over me. And Tokyo, with its collective emotions stifled, has been lulled into a peaceful stagnation. In the end, my old man was probably right. As much as I hate to admit it. I already prepared myself for all this the moment I learned that Kiri was my biological sister. I pretended things were fine this way, and quietly resigned myself to finally becoming an adult. I'm about to slowly close my eyes, but I can't. A video of Subcon starts playing on the living room monitor. For some reason, I can feel her looking at me.
チカ、聞こえる？
There's no mistaking it. It's kind of hard to just make out over her singing. But Subcon definitely spoke with Iria's voice just then. As far as I know, she's currently being held by the military police. With the network under their surveillance, she likely couldn't contact me by regular means.
どうしたの？
お願い。ソウンがキリリを殺す。
Did I just hear that right? I almost have a hard time believing what she just said. But I know Iria wouldn't lie about this. Something must have happened.
イリアちゃん、それって。
お願い。ソウンが苦しみを忘れちゃう前に本物のリビングデッドになる前にソウンを殺して。
I guess Iria can't really kill him herself. God damn it, Iria. She's not that strong of a girl. With Iria's request conveyed in full, the video of Subcon abruptly shuts off, allowing an ominous silence to fall over the room. What just happened? Why did Iria contact me? And what's this about Soen killing Kiri? My brain doesn't get it. But my heart does. Iria's probably in love with Soen, which is why she asked me to kill him. In that desperate, half-crying voice of hers. Man, maybe I just don't understand love, dude. I don't know, if I were in Iria's case, I probably would have killed Soen myself. The door of the agency suddenly flies open, prompting me to immediately reach for my rabbit punch by the wall.
牙の腹。
Yeah, so she is still alive. I thought she was dead. Because we saw her blood like going up, right? But then again, I guess her body never did go up. And I heard that dead bodies actually do float. Having bypassed the lock, Mitsumin enters the room. Her bodysuit is stained in dark, dusky red blood.
みつみん、どうしたの？まさか。大丈夫。撃たれただけだ。弾は摘出した。
I do a quick scan with my Conray just in case. The analytical prowess of the Karasuzumi Living Dead Stalker Agency is nothing to scoff at. Putting aside creations of laboratory-class opponents, it can see through the camouflage of your everyday hi-fi with relative ease. Soen and Ryuko's brainwave patterns have been registered, so it's fairly easy to tell whether or not someone else is under the influence of the same necromancer. That is to say, my old man. The scan finishes. Mitsumin's in the clear. In other words, Mitsumin's wounds are ordinary injuries, and the dark red stains on her suit are just from her own dried up blood.
相手は長岡にやられた。
Her words come as a huge shock. I was kinda expecting it, but still, guess I just wasn't ready for it.
親父の命令か。ああ。
Mitsumin makes a slow, deliberate nod.
牙の原少将は東京を手中に収める気だ。あいつにそんな人望はない。人望はなくとも言うことを聞かせることはできるわ。殺してレムレースを注射するだけでね。
Olga walks into the living room from behind Mitsumin.
軍警察はすでに死者の塔と化している。死者の塔？
I have a really bad feeling about this.
親父はそれをやったのか。
I mean, I wasn't really surprised by that, by the fact that, you know, you and Soen got turned into living dead quite easily on that other route.
生きている人間を殺して、それを私も長岡に殺されかけた。
The master-servant relationship between a living dead and their necromancer is a bond stronger than steel. It's the perfect tool to exploit in order to assume complete and unchallenged control of the city. It's also the most efficient way for him to maintain order and establish what he believes to be the correct path for Tokyo. On paper, it makes perfect sense. But I just don't believe it. I don't want to.
私は今日あなたを尾行していた。あなたと別れた阿蘇キリリがどこへ向かったかを知っている。
I'm surprised that Olga... Then again, I guess he actually likes Milgram, right? The reason why she was following Milgram's order was because she wants Milgram's idea of the necropolis to be realized. But the fact that this is not really in accordance to Milgram's wishes, that's why she's probably trying to disrupt Hokuyasu.
キリネが？ええ、彼女は一人で軍警察に乗り込んだ。
The rabbit punch I've been holding falls to the ground with a loud thud. Rather than screaming right now, I think you could try to save her before it's too late. I drive my fist into the wall over and over again. I see my miserably disheveled face reflected in the grime-laden blade of my rabbit punch. Kiri and I have always maintained a certain distance. We were both scared to get too close and mess things up. There was obviously a reason why she suddenly changed her mind, and why she asked me for a kiss. I should have given this more thought. Yeah, I thought that you did, but I guess you didn't. Kibanohara Hokuyasu has murdered innocent officers for the sake of his selfish beliefs. He's a madman who thinks he can build order atop a mountain of corpses, and I'm gonna make him pay. As for Asukiriri, she confessed her feelings to avoid lingering regrets, then leapt straight into the lion's den without a further word. I love her more than anything in the world, but I can't just turn a blind eye to something like that. But most of all, I want to punch myself for wallowing in self-pity and getting hung up on trivialities while the girl I adore is in danger. Right. That's it. It all makes perfect sense now. My rabbit punch sounds a shrill roar. This chainsaw has always been my trusty partner, the symbol of my rebellion. The old man's methods are what's correct? Well, fuck that. And why do I keep worrying about having a correct relationship with my sister? What's so wrong with being incorrect? If something gets in my way, I'll kick it aside. If there's someone I don't like, I'll punch him in the goddamn face. If I want a kiss, I'll go get my kiss. Simple is best, as I always say. I'm like an oversized child who refuses to grow up. I know. Hey, I didn't say that I dislike you for that, Ethica. I feel like I'm actually in accordance with what you're thinking. I'm also an oversized child. But that's who I am. Who I've always been.
Mitsumi! Oh,
Took you a while to realize that, girl.
何？頼む！私に力を貸してくれ！
I think I'm gonna have to end the episode though, Ethica. God. Before this actually goes into a super overdrive, I actually have to end the episode right here. Whew. I'm just gonna take a short break. I will be playing this again. There's no way I'm gonna stop. I can probably record a lot of episodes today. It's only 6 p.m. right now, so at the very least 2 or 3 more episodes. At least 2. Tomorrow, I'm not going to the gym, so yeah, I'm gonna be going overdrive on Tokyo Necro till we finish. Probably even gonna start early tomorrow. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Give this video a like if you guys like it. Some of you guys haven't. What else do I usually say? These episodes will be early access on Patreon, so if you want to pledge on that, do feel free. I do apologize for people on Patreon, like I said, for the past week, that I've been kind of procrastinating and not doing videos and making excuses. Surprisingly, there's no H scenes yet, other than, you know, the Kazuma and Sophia one, and I guess Konsu. But yeah, I'm guessing that Kiriri, we're gonna be having an 8 scene with Kiriri at the end of the, like, route or something. It's gotta be as, like, some fan service for the game. I feel like the fan service for the game is really not that much, though. Thankfully. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'm gonna take myself a short break, just get myself some water, and maybe some snacks before I continue on. I feel like my transitions on these episodes are not as smooth as they usually are. Probably because it's been quite a while since I recorded.